The first few lines ground us in Mia's reluctant attitude and long-standing dedication. The contrast between the email's chirpy emoji and the weight of her history sets the emotional undercurrent. Foundation. Mia's legacy. You feel. Her fingerprints all over CoreLogic. The janky printer, the all-nighters, the financial juggling. She wasn't just early stage, she was the stage. The quiet engine metaphor is beautiful and sad, especially in light of what's coming. The cold shift. Subtle details, skipped meetings, the intern buzzword brigade, telegraph that something's off. She knows it's coming, and so do we. But like her, we don't know how cold it'll get. Dinner scene. Polished knives. Swanky rooftop. Overpriced fish. Harper, the Silicon Barbie, dripping in startup jargon. That building blocks line. Cold. And then, step aside, Granny. That wasn't just tone-deaf, it was nuclear. And Harper thought she'd won. The twist. Power in silence. Here's the genius. Mia doesn't fight. She doesn't flinch. She smiles. Because she knows something they don't. That 5% equity wasn't just a pat on the back. It was a stake. And she's been quietly watching for over 2 decades. That single-page thank you became her ace. Themes that hit loyalty versus modernity. The danger of underestimating quiet people, women in leadership and ageism in tech, founders, forgetting the ones who built the foundation. If this is part of something larger, like a story, speech, short, film, or even a pitch, I need to know. Are you writing this? Is it autobiographical fiction? Is there more? I never brought it up, never 559, boasted, never reminded, whoa. This reads like a mic-drop corporate thriller wrapped in poetic grit. It's razor-sharp, emotionally charged, and structured with the kind of slow-burn vengeance that makes it impossible to stop reading. Mia is a force, controlled, calculated, and quietly preparing for a storm only she knows how to ride. You've got a narrative that blends the stealth of a spy drama with the political chess game of a boardroom coup. Here's what stands out. What's working incredibly well? Tone and voice, Mia's inner calm paired with the growing chaos around her. Chef's kiss. Her voice carries that seasoned resilience, the kind that doesn't need to shout to own the room. Pacing. You nailed the rhythm. The timestamps, 6:05, 6:12, etc., subtly build the feeling of a ticking clock, like everything's on the verge of a detonation. Corporate realism. The details are spot on. Shareholder agreements, back-end legacy systems, NDA flashbacks, and internal politics? It all rings true and elevates the tension. Subtext and power shifts. You say so much without saying it directly. That's powerful. Harper might have the mic, but Mia has the real leverage. A few thoughts for leveling up, if you're into polishing. Timestamps. Right now, they give a cool documentary feel. If this is meant to be fiction, or creative nonfiction, do you want to keep them in permanently? They're super effective. But consider making them part of a formal structure, e.g., chapter headers or scene breaks, if you expand this. Flashbacks. The NDA and the old mock-ups moment? Gold. Maybe thread a few more of those in earlier. It deepens the emotional stakes and shows why Mia won't just walk. Harper's portrayal, she's effective as the avatar of corporate disruption, but it could be interesting to show one moment where she's not just the villain, maybe she's under pressure herself, or mimicking what she thinks leadership is supposed to be. Would you want to shape this into a full story or series? Because honestly, this could be episode 1 of something much bigger. Mia's just getting started, and I'm 100% here for it. Doug introduced her with a warm smile, calling her a breath of fresh air. Harper beamed like she'd just won a pageant. Time for a new chapter, she said to the room. A younger, leaner, more innovative CoreLogic. It wasn't subtle. I sat in the second row, arms folded, watching faces around me twist into polite discomfort. Vanessa looked blindsided. Luis wouldn't even meet my eyes. Then the projector lit up. Organizational streamlining plan, phase 1. My jaw clenched. Back-end operations, cut. IT functions, outsourced. Departments, merged. And legacy management transition. Translation, me, no name, no mention. Just a bullet point on a slide. After the meeting, Harper found me in the hallway, alone. "I hope you'll be graceful about this," she said, voice low. "It's what people expect of veterans." I tilted my head. "You mean women who've outlived 3 CEOs and built the systems keeping this place standing?" She smiled like I was being difficult. That afternoon, HR emailed my separation package, a generous check, an NDA, and a clause demanding a full knowledge transfer. That's when they overplayed their hand. I walked straight into Doug's office, the package in hand. "Mia," he said, already bracing, "you let your daughter call me obsolete in front of the company, and now you expect me to hand over my work like a loyal old dog? It's not like that. It's exactly like that. And let me be clear. I'm not signing anything. Not today. Not ever." He exhaled. "Then you're forcing us to terminate. You're forgetting something." I reached into my bag. "I still hold a shareholder seat. Force me out without board approval, and you're in breach of the original agreement." Doug went pale. "You think Harper's ideas are shiny and disruptive, but they're dangerous. Cutting back end will hollow your infrastructure. That automation model she keeps touting, it doesn't even comply with client contracts. You know that." He leaned back, silent. "I'm not trying to sink the ship," I added. "But I won't let you sink me with it." That night, I met Vanessa and Luis at a diner. Quiet booth, tired eyes. I handed each a manila envelope. "What is this?" Vanessa asked. "Proof. What we built isn't just code, it's intellectual property. Documented. Time-stamped. Traceable." "You're going to sue?" Luis asked. "Not unless they make me. But I want you both protected. Harper's planning another round of cuts." Vanessa nodded. "She's already got PR drafting the press release." "They're dressing CoreLogic up for acquisition," I said. "Streamlined, packaged, shiny." Luis looked up. "Are you going to stop it?" "No," I said. "I'm going to shape it." Over the next 3 days, I worked like a ghost. Quiet, invisible, but precise. Met with Melissa in legal. Filed a cease and desist against Harper's use of proprietary modules. Sent formal notice to the board. I would vote against the restructure unless a third-party audit was conducted. Had lunch with Daniel Renaer, CEO of Technova. Just a conversation. Until I mentioned CoreLogic's leadership shift. His eyebrows lifted. "We've had talent reaching out. Makes sense now." "If you're interested," I said, "I can tell you which systems to protect and who understands them." By Friday, the pressure was visible. Harper's smiles were tighter. Her voice had an edge. People she expected to follow her were looking back at me. And all I did was smile. Because the storm she unleashed, I'd already built the levees. Monday, 3 of her flashy initiatives crumbled. The vendor migration promised to cut costs. Delayed. Luis had quietly disabled a 2-year-old compatibility patch. The rebranding campaign, pulled after legal flagged trademark conflicts, with a firm I happen to know well. The predictive analytics model crashed on live data. Garbage in, garbage out. Exactly as I'd warned. Harper doubled down. Mandatory meeting. Department heads only. "We're experiencing growing pains," she said, fake smiling. "But we're on the right path." I raised an eyebrow. "Disruption works when you keep the parachutes. You cut every safety net this company had." "Thank you for your feedback, Mia," she said tightly. Doug sat slumped in the corner, no longer hiding, a figurehead watching the iceberg approach. Later, Vanessa pulled me aside. 3 clients called today. One's threatening to walk," Harper responded. "Yet, she thinks they'll wait. They won't." That night, I opened my laptop. Subject, follow-up from our lunch. to Daniel Renier body. If your board is serious, now's the time to move. I wasn't sabotaging. I was just showing them the mirror. Next morning, I found Harper in my old office, feet on the desk, tossing a stress ball. "Can I help you?" she asked, not looking up. "I need a few minutes." "Make it quick." I stepped in, calm as ever. "You're losing the company." She looked up. "You think people follow you because you say innovation, but this company wasn't built on slogans. It was built on trust, on systems that work." She stood. "Are you threatening me?" "No. I'm giving you a chance." "To what?" "To stop pretending you know what you're doing." That afternoon, Doug asked for a private meeting. No Harper, no assistants. He looked older. "What do you want, Mia?" "Recognition. Not a title. Not a payout. Just recognition." He rubbed his face. "The board's spooked. They see instability. They know your name's still tied to every critical system. They should be spooked." "And Technova?" I smiled. "They're watching, but I haven't decided." Doug looked at me, really looked at me, for the first time in months. "You could walk away." "I could," I said, "but I won't, because what I built matters, and if they want to keep using it, they'll do it on my terms." Thursday, emergency board session, full house. Celeste, the chairwoman, opened bluntly. "We need to address the elephant in the room." She turned to me. "Mia has brought to our attention several contractual, technical, and operational concerns that were omitted from internal assessments during the transition." All eyes on me. Doug stayed stone-faced. Harper flinched. Celeste continued. "As per the shareholder agreement, any executive restructuring affecting stakeholders with more than a 3% share requires unanimous board approval." She looked at me. "Mia," I stood. "I'm not here to cause chaos. I gave this company 20 years, and somewhere along the way that became a liability. But I'm not here for revenge. I'm here to remind you that innovation without foundation is just smoke." Silence. Then Daniel Renier cleared his throat. "We've monitored this closely. 3 clients have raised concerns. 2 paused renewals. The systems at CoreLogic aren't as autonomous as presented." He turned to Harper. "Our offer still stands, but not if the current transition remains." Translation. Harper had to go. Celeste nodded. 10-minute recess. In the quiet, Harper stayed behind. She finally met my eyes. "I didn't mean to destroy anything. You wanted to prove yourself. I get it. But you came in swinging without knowing what we were swinging at. What happens now?" I leaned in. "That's not my call anymore." 10 minutes later, the verdict came. "Effective immediately," Celeste said. "Harper Donnelly is relieved of leadership duties. Doug will remain as advisor through the acquisition. Mia Carter," she turned to me, "will lead the transitional advisory team." I didn't smile, just nodded. Later that week, I signed my consulting contract. 3 times my old salary. Full autonomy. Authority over integration. Harper left without a word. No farewell. Doug shook my hand in the lobby. "I'm sorry," he said softly. "I know," I replied. 2 months later, CoreLogic officially joined Technova. Most staff stayed. I handpicked leadership. Vanessa became director of ops. Luis took over engineering. Half the company now reported to people I'd trained. I didn't move back into my office. I worked from a small home set up by the lake. 2 mornings a week, I walked barefoot across the deck, coffee in hand, watching the sun rise as client dashboards loaded. Systems I built, still humming. One night, I got an email from Celeste. Subject, Legacy Mia. What you did and how you did it. We've never seen anything like it. You didn't just protect your legacy, You reminded everyone what real leadership looks like. I sat there a long time, staring at the screen. It was never about revenge or power. It was about value, knowing it, owning it, and refusing to let anyone take it from you.